Mic check. Mic check, mic check. Mic check. Entitled. The world owes me everything. I was beaten, I was bloody, I was bruised. Now I want my reparations, want the boat and the cruise. I ain't looking at your options, said it's time for me to choose. Give me all the shoes, cars and the whips, fill my bank account with blues. Make it pronto or it's going to the news. What you need from me? Nah, this is what I need from you. This is what I need from you, yo. Yo, you seem to forget that there's more to this black liberation than a black man getting what he wants. We fighting the oppressor at the same time oppressing all the voices of the people that be standing at the front. Fighting for our rights through the day and night. They yelling loud, but we still can't say it right. Cause we jam into the pain. Bringing it to others. If I'm able, then I came. If you're able, then I'm Cain. Black men still dealing cards and misogyny like that's the only card that we got up in the deck. Black men still want equality in all places hard to reach and seldom try to give the same respect. Black men still want a mansion and a pension, but we seldom seem to mention all the tensions that exist within our own people. We divide just to multiply our money, only talking to a honey if she finance. Colorism is a gradient and line dance. Slut shaming, but it's cool, she in my pants. Rape culture, that's a tool for the violence. How about if that was you, see, that's my stance. Teaching homophobia and masculinity are bound to push somebody to the edge, that's a high chance. Say you want someone to look you in the eye, but you won't even give a trans black person the slightest glance. And this is a note to self, I'm checking for I'm wrecking. I'm still problematic, yo, I'm still learning the lessons. It's still automatic that I overlook my privilege and slack up on my diligence to divvy out my blessings. Because as a Christian, I should love all and judge none. I got distracted trying to build me up a trust fund. Now I'm counterbalancing my actions that will match the white folks trying to kill me since day one. The world owes me everything. I was beaten, I was bloody, I was bruised. Now I want my reparations, want a boat and a cruise. I ain't looking at your options, said it's time for me to choose. Give me all the shoes, cars and the whips, for my bank account with blues. Make it pronto or it's going to the news. What you need from me? Nah, this is what I need from you. This is what I need from you, yo. Yo, you seem to forget that there's more to this black liberation than a black man getting what he want. We facing the oppressor at the same time oppressing all the voices of the people that be standing at the front. Fighting for our rights through the day and night. They yelling loud, but we still can't say it right. Cause we jam into the pain. Bring it unto others. If I'm able, then I came. If you're able, then I'm Cain. Black men still dealing cards and misogyny like that's the only card that we got up in the deck. Black men still want equality in all the places hard to reach, but seldom try to give the same respect. Black men still want a mansion and a pension, but we seldom seem to mention all the tensions that exist within our own people. We divide just to multiply our money, only talking to a honey if she finance. Colorism is a gradient and line dance. Slut shaming, but it's cool, she in my pants. Rape culture, that's a tool for the violence. How about if that was you, see, that's my stance. Teaching homophobia and masculinity are bound to push somebody to the edge, that's the high chance. Say you want someone to look you in the eye, but you won't even give a trans black person the slightest glance. And it's a note to self. I'm checking for I'm wrecking. I'm still problematic, yo. I'm still learning lessons. It's still automatic that I overlook my privilege and slack up on my diligence to divvy out my blessings. Because as a Christian, I should love all and judge none. I got distracted trying to build me up a trust fund. Now I'm counterbalancing my actions that were matching white folks trying to kill me since day one. Gentrifier. Ooh. Gentrifier. G. Generate G's. Gather a big enough group to generate enough G's to go grab the gold mine of land we comfortably yet uncomfortably live on. How quickly can you turn the gas stations that's fed our families when the stores couldn't or wouldn't in the gelato stops? You see glamour in our garbage, but I see your glamour as garbage. Evening, every evening I think about the internal immigration, the hypocritical, egotistical enigma that entices me to execute erratic emotions. Even your ancestors expressed distaste in cohabitation with the less fortunate or less economically stable or less human as once, more than once stated. Yet you insist on evicting and emitting savior complexes on communities you never exactly planned on saving, just wanted us to save you some land so you could claim and rearrange at your leisure. No, never negotiated or recalled inputting a notion of my knowledge, my interests, my inputs. No, I just casually navigated in and around nooses nestled and intertwined in my neighborhood. Naming prices and strangled by a deficit of income and inability to change my community. Maybe you couldn't hear my voice over the change in or chains on my pockets. T. Try to tell me you know the solution to a trap you've never lived in. Tell me you know how to take the chains off this lock. Taxing, isn't it? Timing isn't as great as it seems when you realize the seams have been tied so tight during idle times you spent twiddling your thumbs, ignoring the true issue, hoping you'll mystically disintegrate. R. It's hard to relax watching backhoes roll over the places used to roam ritualistically and skateboard after school because you weren't cool enough to stay there. Realizing everything you once loved ripples back into waves, back into energy, rippling till it rips. Time remaining stationary while I wait. Watching Range Rovers and other forms of mobility roll past that I was told I could have only if Hot Wheels sold it to me. I'm tired. No, I'm tired. I've been invested so long in implementing innovation and invigorating ideas. I'm tired of institutions measuring my inabilities on an index that only imposes inequality. You see, we've been gambled on and given opportunities to gamble on ourselves, yet we always end up inflicting a pain that only cuts deeper than the ionic bonds embedded within my intestines. F. For real. For really I'm flying. For really I'm flying, forgetting the future because you never know which people are going to stay around, which people are going to flock to your town, which people are going to float or drown. My feelings have been far from fractured. There's a rift that finds itself fluttering deeper into cross streets, avenues, railroad tracks, and park trails, further materializing the divide between us and them. So, why? You should tell me why. You should tell me why I should comply. Tell me why the tears I cry when you move my people only seem to make the ever-growing creek that once watered this land, nourished this land, allowed this land to flourish, now transition into being a floodplain of condominiums and coffee shops. I like to say I want cohabitation, peace, and integration as much as the next person, but the people that have been walking by recently see me more as a broken seashell and a mound of sand ready to be sifted through and processed into glass. So why lie and say I want what they want when I don't? Perfect world. I said in a perfect world, there ain't no struggle to make it. Ain't no contemplating if you got a life and should take it. I'm talking born with validation. We don't need to park it, we skating. Momentum take us to every single nation. Meditation, preservation, eyes open, feel well. Hesitation, violation, tell that fear farewell. We was born with a vision. We can see to the mission. Hit the target with precision. Ain't fazed by collisions. I'm more than a digit. I get digits in my mailbox. Stand no more, never judged by my dreadlocks. Never on a fast clock. I ain't pushing bedrock. I ain't on a medlock. Down by the river, ain't nobody trying to take my crown royal. Squad loyal, don't foil my soil. Grown good, walking through my home hood. I ain't got a chrome. We ain't living through the phone. Sitting down in people's homes. Know the conversation's long. I said, in a perfect world, everybody in their zone. Now stressing how to eat is take another person's bone. Ain't no feeling lonely just because you walk alone, and haters never get it, say your day you set the tone. I said, in a perfect world, ain't nobody ever stressing. Got appreciation and they learn to count their blessings. Never see an L as a loss, but just a lesson, a test in their destiny, next to be the best that they could ever dream of. Ain't no facades and no limits, it's what it seemed, cuz. No manipulation going on behind the screen, buzz. Into my house, come upstairs, you receive love. God working through my hands, touch it, I don't need gloves. Travel around the world, meeting people, that's just because I got an itch and I won't fall to submission. I'm a worldwide artist, yeah, they pay me commission, I'm talking worth. They recognizing my skill. I exercise so I build collective pride and instill mindsets like time checks. Never need no bullets, nah, invest. We get a check and we invest, and even seconds still the best. No colorism, no more sections, no more segregation. Connected, we elevated, reading Revelations. On a scene for the king, we acknowledge creation. In the perfect world, ain't no such thing as complacent. I'm gone.
Hello, is this working? Yay, awesome. Thank you all who are here, either compulsory because this is your Bonner meeting, or the people who showed up because you want to be here as well. We appreciate both of you. In any case, it's my honor to recommend a good friend of mine, an old classmate, Victor Allen, that's one first name, Kenneth Weeks, who is a fellow graduate of Davidson College, class of 2019, who does spoken word art and rap work across the country related to different issues related to the Bonner themes of civic engagement, community building, and social justice. He was a Bonner scholar himself, a little bit before me too, and I can just say Victor Allen was one of our more notable Bonners. He normally get the big money grants, so the 10,000 plus ones. No, real talk, he's just swimming in cash over there. But in any case, I'm really honored to have him here. I think he's gonna give y'all a real treat into thinking about how you can kind of create your own avenues for creative expression, either through words like he will be showing here, or as well as physical manifestations, with some of his slides talk about as well. But if we could give a warm welcome to, other quick note, please have your mask on the whole time. I was asked to say that. But yes, please give a warm welcome to Victor Allen. Kenneth Weeks, please.
Thank you, Alexander, for that very warm welcome.
I'm very glad to be here at Carson-Newman University. It's an honor, it's a privilege, and yeah, I know we're going through a lot, not just in this country, in this state, but in this world, so thank you all for maintaining your peace and maintaining your rest and being present in this place here today. Yes, as Alexander mentioned, my name is Victor Allen Weeks. It's hyphenated Victor Allen. It's interesting, like growing up, people was like, can I just call you Victor? And can I just call you Vic? I was like, I guess that works, but I've really come to appreciate the name that I was given, Victor Allen. It just has like its own power and emphasis to it. So I've come to claim my name, and I hope y'all can claim the names that you have, but also words of affirmation that go along with your names, and just words of affirmation that you give to yourselves. So I'm here to talk about the essence of word farming. But before I dive into word farming, I just want to take a moment and pay some respects to the land that we are on today. I understand, and I hope that you all can recognize that the land that we're on today is the result of stolen land. I will definitely say that is a truth. That is the truth for a lot of the United States that we live in today. More specifically here, I just want to pay some respects to the Cherokee Nation, the Natchez Nation, the United Kiowa Band of Cherokee Indians, and the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. They have been stewards and tenants of this land for years and years prior to us being here, and without them there would be no us. So yeah, if we can just have a moment of silence for that. All right, cool. And if it's cool, I would like for y'all to, just stand up and just get a little deep rest and stretching, if that's cool with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Get you out of your comfort zone, let me get out of mine as well. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let's move. All right, so I'm gonna take a couple collective breaths. All right, let's breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in one more time. Breathe out. All right, y'all can relax and sit down. Appreciate you. All right, so again, word farming. Has anybody ever heard of that before? Yeah, neither have I. Actually really just kind of coined this term towards the end of last year. And I wouldn't say coined the term like I just made it up, because word farming, those have always been words, but I put them together and because I really decided to think more about what I do. I've considered myself a rapper and a lyricist and a poet since I was about the age of 13 or 14. But as I've grown to develop more and hone my craft in terms of the words that I use and the words that I speak, I realized that it was deeper than just putting words to a page, just saying words out loud. The things that I speak, there's life and death in the power of the tongue, and the things that I speak can manifest and come to life. So I gave the definition to word farming as the art of utilizing words you speak as seeds to grow into something greater than you can imagine. And it's honestly just a testimony because I've been able to see that happen throughout the years. Really, poetry was just an avenue that I had for myself to escape a lot of just emotional, social traumas that are going on. Middle school's a rough time for everybody, but that's where I found my solace in the page. I was able to write down the things that I was thinking, just express myself through that avenue. And I'm actually a farmer and agriculturalist as well, so this is sugarcane that I helped plant, and this is the result of last year's sugarcane harvest down on Sapelo Island. I'm not sure if any of y'all are familiar with Sapelo Island, but it's one of Georgia's barrier islands, and that's where the last autonomous Geechee community is. So, diving in a little bit more, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm from the west side of Atlanta. Do y'all know where Atlanta is? ATL? ATL represent, you know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah. And I come from Benjamin Elijah Mays. ATL, yeah, no, you know what I'm saying? A-Town, west side. So, yeah, I come from Benjamin Elijah Mays High School. And the motto that we always said at our school was we have a legacy to keep and an image to uphold. Now, really just kind of going into high school, I made kind of light of that motto. Like, yeah, it's something nice to hear, it's something nice to say you're gonna live by or abide by, but what does that really genuinely mean? And as I matured, not just in high school, but after graduating and having more opportunities, I really got to see what it means to recognize the legacy that I have, not just as Victor Allen, Kenneth Weeks, but as a black man in America, as a black man in the South, and as just like a black person wherever I go. There are always going to be a lot of stigmas. There's always going to be a lot of stereotypes that are going to be made against me. People are going to have their own preconceptions of who I am because of the media. And I had to really decide for myself that despite what people already assume about me or what they bring to the table, I'm going to bring something different to the table. And as I got older, I really started to adopt a legacy to keep and an image to uphold to my own, like, just day-to-day being. So a little bit more about where I come from in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a very busy place. I'm from the west side, and so you get the best of like taking the bus, getting to like hop on a train, hop on a bus to go to different places. It's very urban. At the same time, there are a lot of green spaces, and I was taught to be a tenant of the land that I live on at a very early age. One of my teachers, they had us go on field trips to like the green spaces that were in the community. And so while we were in there, I would be always identifying the different plants and animals that were in the space. And I just really was fond of nature. And that's how I decided to couple, I guess, just my love for nature and then also my love for words as well. And I didn't really see how far that would go, but that's where it started to grow. It will also be amiss of me if I did not mention that I didn't just come to be where I am as an artist, as a lyricist, if I didn't go back in time to talk about what I did as an artist when I was much younger. So I started drawing at the age of 4. I think the first drawing I made was like a mama whale with like baby whales in his stomach, and my mom talks about it all the time. Like, I don't even remember that, but that's what my mom said. So yeah, it was just like an avenue for me to create, just having different mediums to express myself in. You see some comics here. I had like series and series of comics. I had like a huge folder, like this thick, but when we moved one day, I lost the whole folder, so I was like really disheartened from that. But I used to get in trouble for drawing on my homework assignments. And the teacher didn't realize that was actually how I was connecting the material and just processing it for myself. Like what I was reading, I would be drawing the story on the side to really digest it. And I would get points taken off, and then my mom came up to the school, hey, you know, black mama, they gonna pipe up for their kid. Or any mom gonna pipe up for their kid, for real. But exactly, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, for me, art wasn't just a way to, I guess, just create just haphazardly. It was really me processing my environment, and whether that was with painting, whether that was with drawing, creating comics, I found peace in that. Growing up, it was an interesting childhood of mine, and I think art allowed me to be vulnerable in that, whether that was drawing, whether that was poetry. And can y'all hear me all right in the back? All right, cool, just making sure. Whether that was drawing or whether that was poetry. And so I had a few different experiences that really challenged me. So my mom and my dad were not together, and that was interesting in itself because while I struggled to say, man, my mom's not together, my dad's not together, and that tore at my heart, I still had to find the silver lining in that. Like to see that, one, I still have my mom and my dad, whereas some of my friends, they didn't have either their mom or their dad, or they didn't have either their parents with them. So I had to find a blessing in that as well. So that just allowed me to become more mature in who I was as a person and how I wanted to continue to move and just be an inspiration for other people. It was interesting, like growing up in my household, I had all my other friends, like sometimes they couldn't come over just because we didn't have the capability to accommodate other kids. But as we grew up, then it was just, I would say it was faith for my family. We had faith and we were diligent, and my mom worked so hard to allow us to be in a better place, and God provided and answered prayers. So as time passed, then we could accommodate more friends, we could accommodate more people to our house, and it was like really a blessing to see, like we came from having so little to being able to provide for others and being kind of like a sanctuary for other friends, and that was just a blessing in itself. And as I mentioned, art is not just an expression of, just me getting out this energy. It is, but at the same time, it's representative of me. And so I really try to believe that and walk that. And as you can see, these are some Air Force Ones, high tops, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got your Air Force Ones? Who got Air Force Ones? You know what I'm saying? These Eevee Weevies, the clean ones, you know what I'm saying? But like for me, this was a bold statement. Would y'all draw on your Air Force Ones? Would you draw on any of your shoes?
I'll let somebody do it. If it was a pro.
Okay, yeah, there was a pro, right? And so for me, I was really nervous. Like, I said, wow, I just had this inclination to draw on my shoes. I don't know where it came from, but it was just an itch I had to scratch. And so I actually started with this little section right here, just the astronaut, the rocket ship going to the moon, and I had space right there. But it was kind of hidden. I had the long jeans, so it covered up this part, right? But I don't know, as I was walking around more and more in my shoes, that confidence built. And I was like, these are an expression of me. And then I began to, not just wear long pants with the shoes, but wear shorts with them so people could start to see the little drawing that I did. And people were like, oh, that's pretty cool. And students and other kids knew that I drew, but they really didn't know, I guess, how outward that was for me. And so, I don't know, once I got that extra confidence boost, then I just went to work. And so you see ATL, Atlanta, just representing. You see the T, it was just something creative. You see royalty right here. In royalty, and I like to say that royalty is deeper than just like material possessions. It's really the spirit that you choose to embrace, that you're given, that you're born with, and knowing that you are a special person, knowing that you are unique in your identity, and you bring something to the table that no one else can bring. And so I felt that's what royalty meant. And as I walked around, it wasn't just like, oh, my shoes are cool to me. Maybe they're not being cool to somebody else, but to me, it really started to emphasize, and it really started to, I guess, embed in my own mind that what I was expressing through my clothing, through my shoes, it was the outward expression, and other people could see that, and it could even give them the confidence to express that for themselves. So, as an artist, like I say, I really try to encompass a lot of the, the audio isn't playing, technical difficulty, 1 second. There we go. It's all good. This is an instrumental that I was going to play. But as an artist, I really do try to encompass a lot of the different things that I encounter in my life. And it was an interesting, I guess, transition in my life when I wanted to really embody the good and the bad and really balance that. One thing that I've come to realize and just, I guess, adopt from my own ideology is that leaders lead in vulnerability. So if you expect a leader to say, hey, this is something that you should do, this is something that you shouldn't do, should or shouldn't being your own subjective ideas or whatnot, but they're not talking about their own battles and their own struggles, because as human beings, we are going to have our own battles and our own struggles that we deal with. They may be different from others, but it's important to acknowledge those. And it's also important to just find strength in having those conversations with other people who may have gone through that situation so they can better themselves and they can provide you some advice to be better for yourself. And so this was an assignment I made actually when I studied abroad in New Zealand, and it was a part of a design course, and we just had to just make a collage of a whole bunch of different things, and everybody took it to their own ideas, but for me, it all centered around this word, bet. Y'all heard that before?
Yeah.
Bet. All right, so give me a context. When would you say bet? When would you say bet?
Say somebody say I can't jump higher than them. Be like, all right, bet.
All right, yeah.
Like, I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, all right, bet. I'm gonna show you. When would you say bet?
I mean, just to confirm plans, so like, hey, you wanna go ahead and eat? Bet.
All right, bet. We're gonna link up. All right, bet. When would you bet the yellow shirt? What would you say bet? Do you say bet? Okay. What would you say bet?
Like when I'm agreeing with my friends, I'm like, okay, bet.
You mean arguing?
No, agreeing.
Agreeing. Okay. I mean, You're like, all right, bet, what's up then? Pipe up. Nah, but it all centered around this word bet. Like, what does it mean to bet? To like affirm or just like to put all the chips in? That's what I think. And this was a turning point for me. This is not my first study, like going abroad opportunity, but first study abroad opportunity. I went to New Zealand for 5.5 months, and while I went with a couple other students that were from my school, I was kind of like isolated in my own housing, and I had to figure things out for myself, and this was where it really solidified. How am I going to stand as an individual wherever I go? And I had to take that bet mentality, like, okay, bet I'm gonna take on this challenge, bet I'm ready for what's coming in the present, I'm ready for what's coming in the future, but I'm here and I can't give up. I gotta take it on. And so everything centered around bet. And like I said, in my art, I became more comfortable with embracing opposition head on. Whether that was like battles that I was dealing, the good and the bad times, because I'm a Christian, I say that, and it's the faith walk, it's an epic journey. You're gonna have highs, you're gonna have lows. It's gonna be a journey, but the thing with faith is that it's not by what you see, it's what you believe and what you know is promised for you. So it was a challenge to kind of come to reality and just like really put this outward. So, you know, there's materialism that I face just coming from Atlanta or just coming from wherever you are. Like, you gotta have the freshest XYZ, you know what I'm saying? So I had clothes, I had the shoes, I had the money. And in hip hop, that's something that's always, I guess, glorified in a sense. Like, how fresh can you be? So that was something that I always had to battle in terms of, okay, what am I doing what I do for? Am I working, am I earning money just to spend it on having XYZ, these things? Or am I working for a greater cause in terms of serving others? And so alongside that, I placed words in between. And remember when I talked about words of affirmation earlier? These are words of affirmation that I really started to claim for myself so I could push forward and power through the obstacles. So there's discipline, there's perseverance, there's community, self-control, conduct, dedication, attitude, faith, love, family. And just mixed around this, you have the pen and the pad. You got incarceration, because that's also a big problem. So again, all centered around this word bet. Like, I'm here and I'm gonna take it on, the good and the bad, but I'm gonna be present and I'm gonna continue to fight. All right, so I will say that I wouldn't be here where I am today if it weren't for Lawrence King and Bradford Grant. These are the other two guys in my rap group that I started at Davidson College, that Alexander also went to. He can tell you about our first show. I think it was there. But he can tell you about our stories when we were first Next Level, as Lawrence has on the shirt. And yeah, I'm gonna do a little performance for y'all real quick. This is like one of the first songs that I actually made. Well, first songs at Davidson that I made. And skadoosh. Nope. All right, please hold. Let's we just gonna play it from here. It's all good. We cool, right? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't, if it goes out the present form, y'all cool with that? I appreciate y'all, you know what I'm saying? If I told you what I do it, then you just call me generic. Honestly, I'm out this world, my flows are weird, atmospheric. We're ready to fit them, recorder was not denim. It took a while to realize that cool came from within. I don't need a polo man to rock me, Galilee the friends. Yankee Doodle had a pony, I'ma pull up in the Benz. So listen when I say that superficial and official and the as the locker and official with a whistle. I whistle with my fingers, that's to set another trend. Cause the social inequality needs to come to an end. From the A-Town to DC, I came to be enlightened. Cause back home I was so frightened, caught up with being polite. And I shedding the light on issues caught in the dark of the night. Focus on being agreeable and not fighting for right. But I'm here for a reason, gotta deal with the four seasons. Whether rain, sun, or sunshine, I came to change my mind. It's hard to rap with this mask on, I'm gonna tell y'all that. But knowledge is power. Alright. But yeah, that was one of That was a segment from a song that I made called Cold Reality back in 2015. And I highlighted these words right here, specifically. Because back home I was so frightened, caught up with being polite, not shedding a light on issues caught in the dark of the night, focused on being agreeable and not fighting for right. So that pertains more so to just like not dealing with problems up front or not confronting issues and just going with the flow of things or just going with the crowd. Because you don't want to go against the grain. And it's interesting, I was driving in traffic today and then I was looking on the other side and I'm like, even though I kind of like apply the metaphor to that, when you go against the grain, there may be resistance, like the traffic that I was going against or the cars that were going against the traffic, like there wasn't any resistance there. But when you go against the grain, there may be resistance, but there's no traffic, like going with everybody else. You with everybody else, you're gonna be bumping shoulders. There's traffic to it. And I kind of thought about that while I was driving. But just back in Atlanta for me, it was interesting because you had a lot of people rallying just to say, well, it's cool. So if the majority said this was cool, the majority went along with this, then everybody's gonna go along with that. But honestly, that ingrained a lot of not so nice mindsets for myself. So when it came to just being nice or not being nice to other people because of what they had, who they were, their own identities, it was easy to play follow the leader. And so that instilled a lot of just like bad mindsets, like I said, that really negated what it meant to, one, be a human and embrace the human experience in itself. And so when I came to Davidson College, that's when I really also started to attack, okay, who am I hanging around with and why am I saying yes or why am I agreeing to like just be a part of this crowd? What is it for? Am I looking for affirmation in people or am I going to affirm myself in something that I truly believe in and something that I believe to be true? All right, this song, apparently the audio is being funky today, so I'm gonna just go ahead and, there we go. Yeah. Look, I'm in it, understand it. I put the lime in the coconut and make you panic. I see the crime from the Cocoa Puffs and Uncle Sammy's, making rhymes for the Cocoa Brothers just to stand in. You see, I'm models full of highly crazy Molotov, ready to pop off on my bottle with the cap popping off, ready for the block that be contraband on the lot. If you get a gun, I pull out the sword of spirit and chop it off. You can knock it off, cause homie, use a lazy trapper. I put the data on your plan and use a lazy trapper. I sling hope, I sling dope, it's what they feeling. It's super easy selling Satan to a group of demons. But soul says the soothsayer, super slick and super smooth. Cooping up with coops later, this the roof layer. After the leggy made the track, so I'ma run it till I rip it off. So this is the song I made in 2016, and pardon me for getting the words, like I said, I made this in 2016. But this was an interesting rap as well, or these lines. You sling dope, I sling hope, is what they fiending. It's super easy selling Satan to a group of demons. And that goes along with what I mentioned just before. If the crowd is already accustomed to a norm, it's easy to just continue to feed into that. And this is not a knock on, I guess, what a lot of rap or hip hop music is today, because I think there is a lot of importance in our stories being told. It's like life is not just a bunch of ups, it's a bunch of downs as well. And if people can make an avenue to provide for themselves and provide for others by rapping about their story, talking about their story, that's important. But I think it's also just important to counteract that as well and provide avenues for people to escape that type of lifestyle and that type of mindset. So where I'm from in Atlanta, it's not uncommon to just see gang violence, to see drugs being on the streets and things like that. And I was tired of that being the norm and that being something that my friends and just other kids that were younger than me finding a cyclical pattern in. And it was always in my heart to go against the grain and to provide something different. Like I said, I think it's important to tell our stories, but I think it's just important to provide an avenue for people to get out of that situation and make something better for themselves. All right, so this is a part of a song I made when I was in New Zealand during my study abroad again. Is Audie gonna play? Maybe? No? It's all good. But so you never get it if you never ready. You never ready if you never do it. Plenty of fear, but you gotta push through it. So when I wrote this line, that was more so attesting to if you want something or you want to be in a position where you can thrive, what are you putting in? How much work are you putting in so you can prepare or be prepared when that opportunity presents itself? So for me, when it comes to just studying abroad or going to New Zealand, I had to get an application together. It didn't just fall into my lap, oh, you get to go here. I had to get an application together. I had to put together a school. I had to reach out to different departments and really learn what it is I was going to be a part of if I was going to study abroad there. And as it comes to just what it means for me to be in the music business and just hip-hop, the industry is in itself, like, it's still growing, it's still evolving, but there have been a lot of intermediate steps that I've had to take so I could learn more, but also share more information with others who see that I'm in a position where they want to be. So I'm proud to say, I'm a business owner. I own a record label, Trilogy ENT. I have a rap group, TG3. I'm in another music group as well, Calm and Concise. That's where this hoodie is from. But to get to the stage where we had something that was established, we had to start somewhere. You never get it if you're never ready, and you're never ready if you never do it. If you don't start, how do you expect to go any further? So what's something that, sir in the green shirt, sorry to call you out, but what's a goal that you are looking to achieve? What's something that you want to manifest in your life? Yeah.
I'm hoping to climb up in the company up where I live.
Most definitely. So what are specific steps, or if you've thought about that, what are specific steps that you want to take that will put you in a step or in a position to attain that for yourself?
Well, first I have to work hard at where I'm at, and then I hopefully land a position as a general manager. And then after that, hopefully a position opens up in the corporate office.
Most definitely, and that's important. Thank you. And your name?
My name's Miguel.
Miguel, thank you. I appreciate your, cooperation. But yeah, like something that Miguel said, he said he had to work hard where he's at. That means